Good morning, everybody. This is Daryl Steed, SmartWolf Consulting, and I wanted to come to you guys and just put out a video. We are talking about foundational principles. Private party acquisition is a big point, and so is just acquisition in general. If you haven't been to the auction lately, I would imagine, there's a reason for that. Either you don't have the bandwidth, you're struggling, you're having used car problems, but if you have been to the auction, you've probably seen it's just as hard out there in the streets. It's extremely expensive. I was just talking to an executive the other day, and based on Mannheim, can't say that Odessa is the same, but I would imagine it's not far off, is the average cost to market on auction transactions is 93 to 97%. Let's just take a minute to think about that, guys. 93 to 97%. How do you make profit if you buy the car from the auction? Fees, recon, packs, any of that stuff. If you have a way, please give me a call. I'm willing to learn because I'm always trying to figure out a more effective way to run used car operations to help other dealers. But with that being said, private party is within your control. So is your service drive. So is your trade process. And you've probably heard a lot of people talking about trade process. Brian Kramer has a great strategy for service drives. David Spizak talks about you need to appraise more, which, he's not wrong. That is the key to foundational success. And then there's the private party side where you have to really ask yourself, yes, let's not ignore the blatant things that we know about this. Is it hard? Yes. So is the auction, guys. Buying cars at the auction is not easy. Most used car dealers or most used car managers that I talk to are saying they're booking 200 to 300 cars to hopefully get 5 to 10 cars. So even when you have the right strategy, you've looked at the cars you've done, it's still just as difficult. So let's not make an excuse about private party acquisition that it's impossible or it's hard. Anything in this market right now is hard, but here's what private party does that the auction doesn't typically lend itself to, is you can actually take back control and do 3 things immediately. 1, you can get cars that you're not going to find at the auction, and if you did, you'd pay way more for them. 2, you get to control your own profitability and strategies and branding because it comes to your store or you go to them depending on the variation that you have set up, which is great because who doesn't want to have a little bit more control over how they run their business? And 3, and most importantly, you get to build a brand that then drives in more customers for potential sales profits and revenues by then switching. As we know, the industry has shown, whether you want to look at one report or the other, 60 to 80% of people aren't just liquidating their car, they're replacing it with another car. So when you take a private party acquisition strategy and really own it, you can't half-ass this and you can't kind of do anything. Okay, you got to do it, and you got to do it today. Then you get that control of what you're looking to do. You actually get those customers coming into you. Now keep in mind, I would never tell anyone to start a buying center if you're not fully committed to this, because just that last piece I talked about, having those customers come in, if you work your buying center, your private party acquisition, your service drive, any of these pieces, as badly as some sales departments do, you're going to then create another dynamic to where customers are going to give you bad reviews or have bad word of mouth, and you don't want that. This is something you really have to put priority to. In my opinion, not that it means much, but it does, is that acquisition is more important than anything you do in the store because used cars touches every piece of everything in your dealership. Now, why do I think that's super important? Well, if we have more cars, we can spend more cars. Whether you're going to wholesale them or retail them, if you're not the right end user, have a strategy. But more importantly, if we're selling cars, we're bringing people to our store. But if we're buying cars, guess what we're doing? We're bringing people to our store, guys. This is a pretty easy situation to understand that, yes, it's hard, and if you put time into it, I have not had a client yet that has worked hand in hand with me that we have not made profitable, extremely profitable. Whether if you want to take a look on my website, to the dealers that gave me their DMS access to show the profits that they're making based on the strategy, or the other dealers that we're working on that information now, every one of these dealers is having great success. Now, why do I bring that up? Well, I don't have enough time for everybody. I wish I did because I really enjoy what I do. I'm passionate and I'm extremely effective at how I get things going for stores. But we have created something new, something that we've researched, we've looked, we have not been able to find anything like it. we now have what we call street smarts. We took it to the streets, guys, because if we can take money from the streets and put it into your store, you get control back to your profitability. And we've created a web academy learning that is the foundational basics of everything I do with a store for the first 60 days, every single day, every time I'm engaging with their clients, their people, and their staff. And then we did one further and we created a mastermind. Now, I understand, we talk about mastermind and we're like, oh, there's plenty of those out there. Well, this one's gonna be a little bit different for two reasons. First reason is, guys, is it is a complementary and installation to the Web Academy so that you're gonna get the foundational basics, but the mastermind is gonna go deeper dive into that with video dynamics, with processes or examples that you can put in place, and then actual solutions from the people that are in the mastermind and or stuff that we will provide for you so that you actually have real-time solutions that you can take back to your store. Why I believe this is different is we hear a lot of masterminds and groups and things of that nature that I think are great to create ideas and brainstorm. However, none of them are actually giving you tangible real-time solutions that you can put into effect to walk you through it. They may tell you that this is how I did it, but there's so much more than telling someone. As we know when you use VAC training, so visual, audio, and kinetics, is that you have to hear it, you have to see it, and then you have to be able to do it yourself. Well, if we don't give examples that you can take back and put into place, how do you do it yourself other than a lot of trial and failure? So what we wanted to do is incorporate the people that are brand new to their job, or they've got an acquisition center but they're struggling a little bit and they need that help, and get the people in the mastermind that really want to build this into another level, and then have that clear direction, those examples. And I've been spending a lot of time to then build this out, put that together, so I'm extremely excited. I've already had a dozen people inquire about this and get into it, the people that have been asking about it. But I wanted to come to you guys and tell you guys, today's the day, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Okay? Don't think about it. Don't sit there and overthink about it. Is what are you doing for November and December to build the foundation, to get your store going so that come January, let's do something that we've never done before. Let's actually have no excuses why we can start January 1 hitting the ground running. Okay, now whether you obviously want to build something really enterprise level, like we're talking 100 cars plus a month and that acquisition strategy, then please give me a call, text, email me, and let's have a conversation, see if we can put that together. But if you're looking for the basics and that you want to get it started and need something different, we now have multiple solutions for everybody out there. I really wanted to come to you guys and let you guys know this before November 1st. Anyone that's going to be at Used Car Week, you will get to see this. I'll be talking about it and there'll be some examples of it. But guys, we're super excited. Now lastly, because who doesn't like to come on and kind of give their viewpoint and then get into it a little bit and kind of defend what they think? Okay, the Street Smarts podcast, it takes it to the streets. And this is for all the people that are actually in it, doing it every day. So nothing against these great executives, VPs, and things of that nature, but this is for you guys to come on and let's talk about what you're seeing, what you're doing. Let's talk about real-time solutions. I focus on why the experience, both with your staff and your people, is where you should be at, because that's how we actually build a brand and that's how we keep it going for long terms. But when people want to come in and talk about whether it's used operations, whether it's advertising, whether it's, we had a guest, which I was super excited about women in automotive. Let's get that out there and let's actually talk about what's really happening. Not talking points, not agendas. Let's talk about what we're seeing, how we feel about it, and what we can really do about it. So I look forward to anyone looking to be on a podcast. Let's get on there and let's get the word out there on the streets. And guys, thank you so much. And Daryl with SmartWolf Consulting and now Street Smarts as well. I look forward to talking to all of you guys. And let's see if we can't make the end of the year the start of a better next year.